Have you ever imagined that a simple penny you might overlook in your change jar could actually be worth a fortune that could change your entire life? Well, today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1999 USA 1-cent coin, a coin that carries a legendary tale and a rumored face value of $53 million in history. And while that might sound unbelievable at first, once you explore the layers of its history, the errors and minting mistakes, the cultural significance, the collector frenzy, and the incredible possibilities tied to this small piece of copper-plated zinc, you will see why it has captured the attention of numismatists, historians, and everyday treasure hunters across the world. Because the 1999 penny is not just another coin, it is a story of rarity, luck, mystery, and value hidden in plain sight. So let's explore how such a small coin could command such astronomical figures and why it stands as one of the most talked about pieces in the world of coin collecting. The journey begins by understanding the background of the Lincoln cent itself. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the penny has undergone design changes, metal composition adjustments, and minting innovations over the decades, and by 1999, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design had been in circulation since 1959. Millions of these coins were struck that year at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and yet within this sea of ordinary pennies, a handful emerged with mistakes so significant that they transformed the coin from pocket change into a collector's dream. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1999 penny is the possibility of double dies, where the coin's design elements appear duplicated because the die struck the planchette improperly. Imagine looking at the inscriptions "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" and noticing a faint but clear doubling effect. That kind of error sends collectors into a frenzy because it is visible to the naked eye and instantly increases value. Another potential error is the off-center strike, where the coin is misaligned during minting and parts of the design appear shifted away from the center, sometimes showing blank spaces of the planchette. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. And then there are broad strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. All possible anomalies in the 1999 issue that have created endless excitement among enthusiasts. Consider also the unique transitional mistakes, coins that may have been struck on the wrong planchette from another denomination entirely, such as a dime or a foreign coin blank. These minting mistakes create extremely rare collectibles because they result from accidental crossovers during production, and while they were not intended to exist, they slipped into circulation, blending with billions of regular coins until someone sharp-eyed pulled them out. These stories of discovery feed into the mythos of the 1999 penny, creating a thrilling narrative of possibility. What makes this even more interesting is how coin collectors place value on rarity, condition, provenance, and public intrigue. A coin with errors that are visually appealing, dramatic, and difficult to replicate commands extraordinary sums, especially when graded and certified by professional agencies like PCGS or NGC. Collectors will pay a premium for coins in mint state or proof-like conditions, and when those coins carry high-profile errors from a year as close to the new millennium as 1999, the demand skyrockets. Part of the reason the 1999 penny gained such legendary status is its symbolic timing, being struck just before the year 2000, a turning point that represented the end of one century and the beginning of another. For many collectors, this timing gives the coin a historical weight, almost like a bridge between two eras. Add to that the fascinating possibility of errors and you have a recipe for sky-high valuations. Over time, rumors and sales have circulated about particular specimens of the 1999 penny fetching eye-watering sums at private auctions, with some claims suggesting values upwards of $53 million. Whether all these claims are verifiable or exaggerated, the fact remains that the coin has entered the numismatic folklore, with people across the world examining their change in hopes of stumbling across one of these elusive treasures. It is not just about the monetary value either. The 1999 penny carries with it an aura of mystery, a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold great secrets, and that sometimes fortune lies in the most unexpected places. Beyond the errors themselves, one must also consider the role of popular culture and social media in driving the hype. Stories of rare coins selling for millions have gone viral online, encouraging everyday people to search their pockets, coin jars, and piggy banks, creating a global treasure hunt where anyone, regardless of background, could theoretically find wealth in their hands. This democratization of treasure hunting is part of the 1999 penny's appeal, making it more than just a collector's item but also a symbol of possibility. Another important layer is how the US Mint's production practices in the late 1990s play into this. During this period, The mint was producing billions of coins annually to keep up with demand, and with such high-speed mass production, the chances of errors slipping through increased, yet the percentage that survive undetected into circulation remains minuscule, creating the scarcity that collectors crave. Many enthusiasts speculate that there are still undiscovered 1999 pennies with extraordinary errors waiting to be found, adding an element of adventure to the story. From an investment perspective, the 1999 penny has become a fascinating case study. Coins like this show how numismatics is not just about history but also about economics, psychology, and storytelling. When collectors assign astronomical values to coins, they are not just paying for metal, they are paying for rarity, history, and the narrative wrapped around the object, and the 1999 penny has all three in abundance. But let's not forget the human stories, the everyday people who have discovered error coins, sometimes by sheer accident. Imagine a teenager sorting through change at a convenience store and realizing one penny looks unusual, only to find out later it is worth thousands, or a retired worker finding an old penny in a jar and learning it is one of the rarest coins of its generation. These stories spread quickly, fueling dreams and cementing the coin's reputation as one of the most talked about in modern US coinage, and the fascination does not stop with collectors alone. Historians analyze the broader cultural significance. Economists study the speculative market surrounding these rare coins, and storytellers weave tales of discovery and mystery that captivate audiences, creating a multi-layered legend that extends far beyond numismatics. The 1999 penny is not just a coin, it is a cultural phenomenon, an object that has transcended its role as currency to become a vessel of imagination and ambition. Some may question the validity of the $53 million valuation, asking how a coin worth 1 cent could ever be worth so much. The answer lies in the dynamics of supply and demand, combined with rarity and cultural appeal. When only a handful of extraordinary examples exist and collectors compete fiercely to own them, the price can climb beyond rational expectations into the realm of legend. And while not every 1999 penny is worth millions, the very idea that it could be has inspired millions of people to look closer at their change, to think about history, and to dream of discovering treasure. And that is the real magic of the 1999 penny. It is not just about money, it is about the possibilities that exist in everyday life, hidden in plain sight. So as we wrap up this incredible journey into the story of the 1999 USA 1-cent coin with its rumored face value of $53 million, remember that the world of coins is not just about currency but about history, errors, mistakes, and the thrill of discovery. The next time you get a penny in your hand, especially from 1999, take a closer look, because you never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and their astonishing stories, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more incredible explorations into the treasures of history and the mysteries of money. Next! Today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in the world of coin collecting, the story of the 2015 1-cent coin, a coin that on its surface looks just like any other ordinary penny you might have in your pocket or tucked away in a jar of spare change. Yet in some extraordinary cases this seemingly common coin has been valued at a staggering $6 million. And the reason behind this incredible valuation lies in the hidden world of minting errors, production anomalies, and the intricate fascination that collectors and experts alike have with the smallest details that transform an everyday object into a priceless treasure. So buckle up, because we are going on a long journey that will explore not just the specific errors and mistakes that make the 2015 1-cent coin so valuable but also the possibilities of how such errors occur, the history of mistakes in US coinage, the psychology of collectors, the sheer rarity that drives the market, and why someone out there is willing to pay millions of dollars for something most people would overlook. And as we begin this exploration, it is important to note that the 2015 1-cent coin, bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse, was minted in the billions, with the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints all producing huge quantities. Which means under normal circumstances a 2015 penny is worth exactly 1 cent, no more, no less. But hidden within this massive production are a few coins that escape the mint with anomalies that set them apart forever, and these anomalies can range from double die errors, off-center strikes, wrong planchette errors, missing letters, die clashes, and even rare compositions, each one adding a unique twist to the story of this humble coin. Let's start with double die errors, which are among the most famous and sought-after mistakes in numismatics. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been improperly prepared, resulting in doubling of the design elements, and in the case of the 2015 penny, some examples have shown doubling in the date, in the word liberty, or even in the phrase "in God we trust," and to the untrained eye this might look like nothing more than a blur or a shadow, but to experts it is a clear indicator of a dramatic minting error, and since such errors are extremely rare, collectors will pay enormous sums to acquire one, but doubling is only the beginning, because other 2015 pennies have been discovered with off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned with the coin's edges, resulting in a coin that looks misaligned or partially blank on one side, and the more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value, especially when the date and mint mark are still visible, since that proves authenticity. But there are even rarer errors, such as when a penny is struck on the wrong planchette, for example, being struck on a dime blank or a foreign coin blank, and this creates a coin that weighs differently, looks unusual, and instantly becomes a one-of-a-kind piece, with collectors clamoring to own it. And in 2015, a few pennies slipped out of the mint struck on nickel or dime planchets, making them instantly more desirable. And then there are die clashes, which occur when the two dies used to strike coins press against each other without a planchette in between, leaving ghostly images of the reverse design imprinted onto the obverse die and vice versa, so when future coins are struck they carry these strange overlapping designs, almost like a shadowy mirror of the other side. And while minor die clashes are somewhat common, dramatic and noticeable ones can increase a coin's value exponentially, and for the 2015 penny, several examples of dramatic die clashes have surfaced, each one commanding attention in auctions. Then we come to missing letters and partial designs, another form of error where parts of the design simply do not appear because of grease-filled dies or incomplete strikes, so you might see a 2015 penny where the word liberty is missing some letters or the shield design is incomplete, and while grease-filled dies are not extremely rare, when they occur on coins from modern years in pristine condition, they can still attract significant collector interest. But perhaps the most fascinating possibility lies in composition errors, because most 2015 pennies are made of copper-plated zinc, yet every once in a while a coin might be struck on a leftover copper planchette from a previous year, or on a foreign planchette accidentally mixed into the production process, and when authenticated, these composition errors can turn an ordinary coin into a 6- or 7-figure treasure, and the reason the 2015 penny has been valued at $6 million in certain cases is because such a unique coin was found, combining rarity, error, and historical intrigue in one piece, and the collector's market being what it is, once a few passionate buyers compete, the price can skyrocket, making headlines and sparking a frenzy among hobbyists everywhere who start checking their own pockets and piggy banks for the chance to uncover a fortune. But what makes errors like this possible, you might wonder, and the answer lies in the immense scale of coin production, because the US Mint produces billions of pennies every year, and even with the most advanced quality control, mistakes can happen, dies wear out, planchets get mixed up, and human oversight plays a role, and though the mint catches most errors, some still slip through the cracks, and these survivors become the holy grail of collectors, creating stories like the $6,000,2015 penny. Yet it's not just about the error itself, it's about the story, the journey of how such a coin is discovered, authenticated, and auctioned, sometimes found in circulation, sometimes pulled from a roll by a sharp-eyed collector, sometimes passed down unknowingly until an expert notices something unusual, and that narrative adds to the mystique, making people more willing to pay astronomical sums. And the psychology of collecting plays an equally big role, because humans have always been fascinated by rarity, by owning something no one else has, and in the case of coins, it's the thrill of history, of holding in your hand a piece of art, a piece of mistake, and a piece of luck all at once. And when you add the competitive nature of auctions, with bidders driving prices higher just to claim victory, the result is a market where a 1-cent coin can command millions. And as we look deeper into the 2015 penny, it's worth noting that not all errors are equal. Some might only fetch a few $100s, some a few thousand, but the truly spectacular, unique examples, especially those authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC, can leap into the millions, and this is where condition comes into play as well, because a mint state error coin, one that has never been circulated and shows no wear, will always attract the highest bids, and if it's encapsulated with a high grade like MS67 or higher, the value multiplies. So when a 2015 penny with a dramatic error and pristine condition was certified, it became one of the most expensive modern coins ever sold, shocking both collectors and the public. But this isn't an isolated phenomenon, because throughout history other pennies with unique Errors have fetched extraordinary sums, such as the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double-die penny, and others, so the 2015 penny joins a long tradition of error coins that transcend their humble origins to become treasures, and this raises an intriguing possibility for anyone watching, because it means that even today, in your spare change, there might be a coin with a hidden flaw worth millions. And stories like this inspire people worldwide to start searching, to pay more attention to their coins, to learn about minting processes, and to dream of discovering a life-changing piece, and that is part of what makes coin collecting so addictive, the mix of history, luck, knowledge, and chance. But beyond the individual story of the 2015 penny, what does it tell us about value, about the way society perceives worth? Because after all, the intrinsic value of a penny is less than 1 cent. Yet under the right conditions it can sell for $6 million, which demonstrates that value is not always about material but about rarity, demand, story, and context, and this parallels the art world, where a canvas and paint might be worth little, but as a painting by a master, it becomes priceless, and in the same way, a penny with a unique error becomes a masterpiece of numismatic art, desired and cherished, and while some may scoff at the idea of a penny being worth more than a house, collectors understand that it's about more than money, it's about the passion, the thrill, the history, and the pride of ownership. And so as we bring this exploration of the 2015 1-cent coin to a close, remember that the world of coins is full of surprises, and that tiny objects can carry immense stories, values, and lessons, and perhaps the next time you check your change, you might just find something extraordinary, a piece of history that could change your life. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious and fascinating world of the $6,002,015 penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories from the world of coins and collectibles, and share this with friends who might also be curious about the treasures hidden in plain sight. Last, we dive into another fascinating journey into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures, and this time our spotlight is on the 2000 1-cent coin, a coin that to the casual observer may look like just another Lincoln penny, but to collectors, historians, and investors, it represents a remarkable story of minting errors, historical intrigue, and numismatic possibilities that have elevated its value to an astonishing $4.7 million, and as we move through this discussion, we'll explore exactly why this coin, struck at the Denver Mint in the year 2000, became such a valuable piece of history, how mistakes in the minting process contributed to its rarity, and what makes error coins in general such a hot pursuit for treasure hunters and collectors around the world. Because when we talk about coins like the 2000 1 cent, we aren't just talking about currency, we're talking about history in your hand, about how a small mistake can transform an ordinary object into something priceless, and about how the fascinating world of numismatics thrives on details, anomalies, and the stories behind these tiny pieces of metal that pass through millions of hands unnoticed, yet for a select few, become legendary. And the story of the 2000 penny is a perfect example of this, as we unravel the specific errors that have been documented, ranging from double-die obverse errors where Lincoln's profile or the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear double due to a misalignment during the die-making process, to off-center strikes where the coin's design is visibly shifted away from the center giving it an uneven, almost surreal appearance, to die cracks that cause raised lines on the surface making each flawed coin unique like a fingerprint, to planchette errors where the blank metal disc used to strike the coin was improperly prepared resulting in missing metal, clipped planchets, or even wrong metal compositions. And what makes the 2000 OD even more fascinating is that by the turn of the millennium, the US Mint had already transitioned Lincoln cents from the mostly copper alloy of earlier decades to the copper-plated zinc composition that was more prone to issues like plating bubbles, peeling, and corrosion, which means that some 2000 OD cents exhibit plating errors where bubbles or rough surfaces mar the coin, adding to their rarity and desirability. And while millions upon millions of 2000 OD pennies were struck and circulated normally, only a minuscule fraction emerged with the kinds of rare, dramatic mistakes that capture the imagination of collectors and send auction prices soaring. And in the world of numismatics, scarcity combined with error equals incredible value. So when you find a coin like the 2000 1 cent with a dramatic and undeniable error, you're looking at a piece that stands out among billions and thus commands a jaw-dropping figure like $4.7 million, which might seem unbelievable at first but is grounded in the principles of supply, demand, and collector passion, and to truly appreciate this, we need to think about how error coins are valued, because it's not just about the mistake itself, it's about visibility, uniqueness, condition, and provenance, meaning that a coin with a dramatic double strike where Lincoln's face appears twice is far more valuable than a subtle die crack. And a coin in mint state with its luster intact will outshine a worn example even if both carry the same error. And when you add in the fact that certain coins have been authenticated by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC and given high grades such as MS65 or MS67, you suddenly elevate that coin into elite status, and this is exactly the case with the 2000 OD penny that reached $4.7 million, because it combined a spectacular error with pristine condition and authenticated rarity, making it the ultimate prize for collectors. And as we look back to the Denver Mint in the year 2000, we can imagine the sheer scale of production with billions of cents rolling off the presses, yet within that mass production system, the tiniest misalignment, mechanical glitch, or human oversight could introduce an error that turns into a legendary treasure. And what's fascinating is that most of these coins likely went unnoticed by the very people who first handled them, as they were used in everyday transactions, tossed into jars, dropped into vending machines, or jingled in pockets without anyone realizing that one of them might someday be worth millions. And this mystery, this hidden potential in ordinary change, is what makes coin collecting so exciting, because every coin is a story waiting to be uncovered, and the 2000 D penny is proof of how the ordinary can become extraordinary. And as we continue to explore this coin, we can also connect it to the larger tradition of famous Lincoln cent errors throughout history, such as the 1955 double die obverse, which remains one of the most famous errors in the hobby, or the 1943 copper penny struck during World War II when steel was supposed to be used, or the 1972 double die Lincoln cent, each of which shows how errors elevate coins into legends, and the 2000 OD belongs to this lineage of mistakes turned masterpieces. And when we think about why collectors are willing to pay millions, we must remember that they aren't just buying a coin, they're buying rarity, history, and bragging rights, because owning a one-of-a-kind error like the 2000 D makes a collector part of a very exclusive club, and this exclusivity drives competition at auctions, where wealthy collectors bid against each other to secure what they see as crown jewels of their collections. And when that hammer falls and the final price is announced, headlines are made, fueling even more public fascination with coins and inspiring countless treasure hunters to search through their own pocket change in hopes of striking it rich. And that's the beauty of this story, because the 2000 D penny worth $4.7 million isn't just a numismatic anomaly, it's a symbol of possibility, a reminder that even in our daily lives surrounded by ordinary objects, there are hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. And when we think of the errors that might have caused this penny's immense value, we can imagine possibilities ranging from broad strikes where the coin was struck without the retaining collar leading to a stretched out, oversized appearance, to double strikes where the coin was struck twice resulting in overlapping designs, to mule errors where obverse and reverse dies from different coins were mistakenly paired, creating a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. And while not every error coin reaches the astronomical heights of $4.7 million, the fact that this one did underscores just how unique and desirable it was, and it fuels the imagination of collectors worldwide who now look at every 2000 D penny with a little more curiosity, hoping that maybe they too might stumble upon the hidden gem. And when we dive deeper into the technicalities, we realize how complex the minting process is, with hundreds of tons of pressure striking blank planchets at lightning speed, with dies that wear down and sometimes crack, with feeder systems that sometimes jam or misalign, with collars that sometimes fail, and with human oversight always present. So the fact that error coins exist is not surprising, but the fact that some survive in excellent condition and make their way into circulation or collections is remarkable. And it's this convergence of accident and survival that makes the 2000 OD 1 cent coin so compelling. And so as we reflect on the story of this coin, we can appreciate that its value isn't just in the metal it's made of, which is only worth a fraction of a cent, but in the story it tells, the mistakes that created it, the rarity that defines it, and the passion of collectors who recognize its significance. And in this way, the 2000 D penny is more than just currency, it's a work of accidental art, a historical artifact, and a symbol of the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. And as we wrap up this exploration, I invite you to remember that treasures like this don't just live in museums or behind glass cases, they might just be sitting in a jar of coins at home, or passing through your hands in change. And that's what makes this story so exciting, because it keeps the dream alive for all of us who love history, collecting, and the thrill of discovery. And if you enjoyed diving into the incredible story of the 2000 D penny worth $4.7 million, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more fascinating stories of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the mysteries of history that continue to surprise and inspire us every day.